So almost 25 years ago, we created a graywater system here for two buildings to take the water that came out of kitchen sinks, showers, and laundry and use a biofilter with plants and bark and microbes to treat the water and allow us to grow plants with it. There used to be a fence here that was here when I moved here, and we just changed it to this other angle here, partly because it was falling down and also blackberries and rose bushes had grown up along it and it was problematic. And in a homestead, whether you're on a quarter acre in an urban area, in a mini farm, or on a larger scale, being able to use waste products like graywater is really high on the list of what makes for a functional homestead. So in this area, I'd created this graywater system, but because this area has sheep and goats and poultry seasonally, it was always basically impossible to keep them out of eating the plants, no matter what kind of fencing I seemed to create. So now I've made it where it's outside of the fence where they are. And I'll be able to plant around this area. That there's one pipe that comes into this small pond behind me, and then another one from my house. And then I'll be adding some aquatic plants to this little pond, and then plants around the edge that as they grow up, their roots will be able to go down into this stored water where just about every day they're getting watered from graywater. And so this exposed earth here, I recently spread clover, grass, oats, some legumes to revegetate it, and it'll become a lawn. And you can see some debris here because we had to burn all kind of woody debris from some prunings. And so that's basically like low-tech biochar. So I'm just going to go through a few of the kind of things I'm planting that I found do really well in a graywater garden setting. This is a daylily, and it's in the lily family. It makes flowers that are about 2 to 3 inches in diameter, bright orange. And you can go through an established patch, dig them up, and divide the tubers and get more. Here is a cold hardy aloe called snake aloe. I'm going to see how it does here. Here's an asparagus and just see if it spreads. I've got Egyptian walking onions. This is a perennial onion that will spread in this area. And then back here on this little bit of a swale, set my shovel down. I'm planting, these are Japanese flowering quince because I want to create a visual screen along this fence, and these make these beautiful pink flowers and also spread and perennialize. A honeysuckle that will grow up the fence. Here is a Rocky Mountain currant. They get about 4 or 5 feet tall. Another honeysuckle. I'll probably put a couple more things in here. And then here's a fig. And I'm hoping that because we have a protected little spot here, that it will thrive and be happy in this area. Hollyhock, and then further down there, more currants and daylilies. And I'll probably bring some bamboo in here as well in time. But the whole idea is that when you have water like this in a graywater setting, that you're planting water and then everything radiates out from it. So another way that we're going to integrate this into the system is there's a building that's out of frame of the video right now here. I'm going to tie the gutters so when it rains, it also comes down here, and this little pond overflows through a swale down into another pond down there where I have willows. So I have a primary filtration set up here and then a secondary one, and there's already stinging nettles in here. And the idea with graywater is you want to create biofilters by having your wastewater, because there's going to be soaps and other organic materials in there, filter through the roots of plants. And plants will take up those nutrients and turn them into their tissues. So this stacked system where water's zigzagging down through here, whether it's graywater or rainwater, or just sheet flow runoff, because we get a fair amount of rain here in the winter. So hopefully you learned something with all this today. And to bring it all back around, in permaculture, we have a principle that we try and follow that is turning liabilities into assets. So wastewater could be seen as a liability, and we're turning it into an asset by being able to grow plants and beauty and flowers and fruit and visual privacy. So go plant something.